Hi, I'm Jacob Haqq-Misra. This is my video poster for IAUS404, Advancing the Search for Technosignatures. My poster is titled Framing the Possibility Space for Technosignature Searches. In SETI, there's a metaphor we often invoke of a man searching under a streetlight for his lost keys. Now, the man doesn't really know where he lost his keys along the way, but the streetlight is the only place that's illuminated, and so that's where he's looking. And so starting with this analogy, we have to ask ourselves, are the keys accessible in the spatial domain that this man is searching, namely the illuminated part of the parking lot? If the answer is yes, well then looking under the light is a perfectly reasonable strategy and he will hopefully find his keys soon. If they're not, then looking under the light is kind of a fruitless endeavor, and it would be better to go look in other areas, maybe find another light that you can transport and go look there, maybe find your keys. Now, this dichotomy presupposes that the man would actually recognize the keys if he were to encounter them. But this might not also be the case. So we ask ourselves, would he recognize the keys? And if the answer is no, well, maybe they are somewhere in his spatial domain, but they're concealed, they're hidden, they got dirty, they're covered with leaves, and so, find a metal detector, get some new technology to sweep your area using a different method, and maybe you'll find it within your spatial domain. But of course, if it's neither in your spatial domain nor recognizable, then he doesn't really have much option other than to wait and hope that somebody else finds the keys and brings them to him. So in the search for technosignatures, we ask ourselves, is the technosignature that we're looking for accessible in our spatial domain? And likewise, would we recognize the technosignature if we encountered it? Now, if the answer to both of these is yes, then the solution is to explore, continue searching, exploiting the resources that we have to see what we might find. And this is obviously something that we do in technosignature science. If it's not in our spatial domain, but we could recognize it, then expand is the strategy to increase the size of our spatial domain so that we can encompass a greater number of possibilities to search. But now if it's a technosignature that we can't recognize, then we have to evolve or advance our capabilities to search and recognize technosignatures that are currently beyond our capabilities of doing so. And then, of course, if it's neither in our spatial domain nor recognizable, then we exist. We just wait and then hope that evidence of extraterrestrial technology somehow finds its way to us. And so, just to conclude this brief, 2x2 matrix of thinking about, what the possibility space is for technosignature searches. In Explore, we have looking for radio and optical signals that have already reached Earth and so thus might be observable. We could look for artifacts in the solar system that were sent here, whether they are active or defunct, broken, whatever. That would be certainly evidence of a technosignature that we could do today, recognizable and within our spatial domain. If we need to expand, this would be finding new targets to observe, new exoplanets, maybe other more exotic targets that make sense to think about looking for technosignatures. And so that includes remote observations, but expansion, as well could be, in situ observations with either robotic missions or with crewed missions. This could be expansion through the solar system to search better. This could be longer term expansion out of the solar system to expand the spatial domain in which we can search. If we need to advance, obviously we're not going to sit around waiting for biological evolution, but we could develop new remote sensing capabilities, new analytical methods to search the systems that are in our spatial domain and maybe reveal anomalies that we weren't finding otherwise. And then finally, if existence is all it is, then we just have to be patient and maybe hope that serendipity comes our way. So thank you.